This week on Arizona Illustrated, I'll look back at Tucson Fashion Week, listening to voices, exploring Texas Canyon, and a tragedy remembered. Hello and welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. Ask any Tucsonan what makes this place special. They might mention the weather, the mountains, the music, the food, but the fashion? Our first story will take you behind the scenes at Tucson Fashion Week and its efforts to shine a light on an exciting and growing Southern Arizona scene.
To Tucson Fashion Week 2015, which is a premier runway show. We have such an amazing event tonight.
We start about a year ahead of time. This is our premier runway event for Tucson Fashion Week. This is a major night.
It's a lot of work. There are so many different layers, so many different details that we are organized chaos.
What are you freaking about? Yeah. We have 15 dressers. We have 30 volunteers. Front of the house has 30 volunteers. We're all doing fittings for 2 hours.
So she's either 15 or 12, right?
We have 6 local and regional designers. We have 2 major industry leaders that we brought in from out of town. Pick where you want the designers and place them. Okay. It'll take 5 minutes tops. If you just get it done, then the designers can do their thing.
It's the designers, they're the most important aspect of Tucson Fashion Week. Our local and regional designers, they are amazing, talented group of people.
Oh, careful. Okay, there we go. Yay! Okay. Victory. I haven't met any of these models until today, and I had their measurements, but I can only do so much without, having them there. So a lot of shifting around. Awesome, that looks so good.
Did you reach these shoes for you?
Yeah.
This looks super cute. It's gonna work awesome. I'm Spanish and Mexican, so I try to kind of mix nobility Spanish with more of the Mexican, more of the native kind of tribes, and try to mix with print and play with nobility at the same time. First collection, so I thought it would make it more personal and kind of really reflect who I was as a designer.
My line is called Yearling. I've been working on this for the last 6 months probably. Not every single day until about 2 months ago, and then the last 2 months it's been like morning, noon, and night.
I like to help people in any form or fashion that I can, and fashion is one of the ways that you are able to help people. You help makeup artists have their visions come to life. You help hairstylists have their visions come to life, and designers. It's not necessarily something I just do for fun. I do enjoy it, but to me it's extremely serious because other people are entrusting their livelihood in my hands.
Josh, do you want to give us a little music? We are an hour to top a show, so a lot of rehearsals, getting models dressed, crazy chaos in the back room, front of house is already greeting people, feeding people, getting people excited. 1, 2, 3. All these layers of things, all this work, all these hours of work for like a 35-minute show, and then poof, it's done. I think it's like we're athletes, the adrenaline starts pumping once we get going.
It's quick, hurry, change, go quick. You have to keep in mind what they need to put on first, what needs to go on second, and what's the fastest, quickest way to get out there again.
I have 18 looks and I have 16 models. So the first 2 girls have to change into the last 2 looks.
Is this it? Where are they? Can't have dead space in my runway. Get it.
Everybody's really stressed. Everybody starts yelling.
I need a model. I need a model.
there's got to be that element to it, or like nobody would hustle, you know, like, and you have to hustle. So sometimes you got to get real.
I was in Paris with her for one fashion week, New York several fashion weeks. Paula brings a very, very professional fashion production background. She takes Tucson, a regional fashion show, makes it an actual real fashion show, throws in entertainment, and also helps teach.
Tucson Fashion Week is the most professional show I've ever done, like by far. Like there's so much detail and attention put into everything, and it just looks extremely polished.
We don't have much of a scale of events going on here, so that's why I think Tucson Fashion Week is special, because it kind of creates that atmosphere where you want to dress up.
It's legit. And then even Tucsonans learn how to be at a fashion event, which Tucson was not always known for fashion.
It's a small business. We're not exactly raking in the bucks yet, so we do it because we love it. It is fun. For our emerging designers, what a great experience to be on a runway with someone who's been in the industry for 40 years, 20 years, who's doing really well, you know? That doesn't happen every day. The sure heck doesn't happen in New York Fashion Week, right?
This is art. You know, it's not just pretty dresses. Like this is the only art that I make.
I am a full-time practicing attorney. I'm a public defender in the juvenile court system in Maricopa County. Even though a lot of people wouldn't see how the two overlap, they're pretty similar. When I become an attorney, each and every day, I'm a trial attorney, I become this new person. And with modeling, it's the same thing too. So I get to pretty much like test out other sides of me and be the theatrical person that I kind of am that most people can't tell.
It was great to see the models walk and kind of bring your dresses to life and just give it that last little element that my design needs. It's an amazing feeling, so you know you're doing a good job, and as long as you're getting that hype of a crowd, it's my idea.
If I didn't do this, I'd have to go to therapy probably. It's completely different than seeing it on a hanger. It's just completely brings it to life. It's incredible.
Southern Arizona is made up of many voices. Some are heard more often than others. In this first story from our new occasional series on communities, we hear from people who are fostering community through song.
On your toes.
My name is Shawn Cullen, and I'm the artistic director for Desert Voices Chorus here in Tucson.
Last one.
The LGBTQA stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer, and the A stands for our straight allies.
So sing this warm up, walk around, greet each other with a sign of peace, a hug, a handshake, whatever you want to do.
It was very clear from the moment I started that it was all about family. And Desert Voices really emulates that whole ideology of being around and surrounding yourself with people that you love and that they love you back.
Very good. We all warmed up with our body?
I have identified as a lesbian since about, well, I think I probably knew long before then, but 1987 was when I came out.
Now look at the dynamic. It's soft. 6.
It was around 2005, September, the month of September actually, and I had first come out as a lesbian, but then I came out later on as transgender because that's when I started putting the pieces together. Like I had the sexuality part, but then I realized I still felt very dysphoric with my body. From then on, I was like, okay, transgender, that's what I am. I can take the experiences of becoming a man and also the experiences of previously having lived as a woman and live them both together in my life.
have been a couple for 41 years and married for almost 2. So, yeah, we think it's going to work.
1 and 2 and
We hate to pinhole ourselves or have anybody else pigeonholed into a label. We're compassionate people that just happen to have fallen in love with each other as 2 women.
I'm married to Mel. We've been together for 14 years. I have 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and a girl. And I'm part of Desert Voices as a straight ally. You have to stand up for what you believe in order to make something happen. And so, like I said, I'm 100% with them.
My own beliefs are in my song. Yes, we are a couple.
We're legally married.
Mm-hmm.
I came out as a lesbian in 1981, but I'm just a person. It's awkward for me because I don't feel like I have a label. I just feel like I'm who I am, and I shouldn't have to be labeled. I love Kelly, and she's the person I'm meant to be with, and I shouldn't have to explain.
Makes no difference what group I'm in.
When I came out, I was 19 years old in my second year of college. And it was something that was extremely scary, and I built up a lot in my head, but I was really lucky and grateful to have both of my parents and my family support me 100%.
For different folks. Can I hear that? For different folks. 1 and 2.
I learned that there were men that were married and men that were doctors and lawyers and teachers, and they were gay, and women that were gay, and they were all successful, and I could also have that same journey. It is truly incredible to see what one day a week singing together can really bring into your life. Everything melts away, and they are there in the moment and singing, and they're not worrying about work, they're not worrying about their kids, they're not worrying about any other stressors, and they're just kind of letting everything go through the music.
Take my hand and sing with me.
I want you to throw that dart right in between my eyes. Okay? Don't hurt me now. 1 and 2 and 3. Good. Some of you went, woo, way over my head. Some of you hit here. Some of you hit here.
Shawn's a hoot.
Yeah, he makes rehearsals seem like they go by in seconds.
Yeah,
and he's tough on us, and I love that too from the musical standpoint. And it makes me wanna learn more. It makes me want to be a better singer.
As if you're holding the sound up. 1, 2, 3, breathe. Okay, you have to inhale, or there's nothing to ride on.
One of our key values is musical excellence. So there is a point where we have to correct what's wrong, and we have to make things better.
Nice work! You see that energy behind that? That motivation behind that? You were all invested in your performance. You were all invested in the words and the diction and the vowel placement and the power. You were invested in all of it. 2, again, and go. Day. Clap your hands with me. And day.
I see Shawn, he gives us that face, you know when Shawn gives you that face, you know you're doing something right. So he brings out the best in us.
Music builds a bridge, it can tear down a wall. Music.
They don't really want me to sing. You can kind of get that from my voice.
This is why we sing.
How about this? I love to sing. But really, I do love to sing. I'm kind of like a walking jukebox half the time.
Ooh, sha, sha. We got to live to sha, sha.
It makes me feel good. It just fulfills you deep inside, that the sound that can come from all those souls.
There is a yellow one that won't accept the black.
Love singing. I've been singing since I was 7 years old in the church choir. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. That's like an alto.
Desert Voices' mission is fostering community through song. And by having this group out, even as a non-singer, to be supportive of them and to be part of the board, for me, is letting everybody know we are people that love people, and our allied singers that are with us, people that just love to sing.
Part of the reason that I joined Desert Voices and went to the first rehearsal is because I knew no other GLBT people. That really turned my life around. I really feel like it saved my life in a lot of ways because it was a very difficult time. For me, I lose sight of who I am as an individual and have that sense of being part of something greater than myself.
Not bad, not bad. Take a seat.
Like what you see on Arizona Illustrated? Visit our webpage at azpm.org to watch and share videos from this episode. You'll also find stories from future programs, an easy way to submit your own story idea, an archive of past episodes of Arizona Illustrated, and you'll find everything you need to stay connected with public broadcasting in Southern Arizona. azpm.org. When driving Arizona's highways, you are surrounded by an ever-changing landscape. Expansive grasslands, dense forests, soaring mountains, red cliffs, all depends on where you are. Just an hour east of Tucson, there's a uniquely beautiful stretch that is best appreciated by getting off the highway and into Texas Canyon.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Kapp, and I am a senior lecturer and the associate department head in the U of A Department of Geosciences. Where we are today is called Texas Canyon, and this is a wonderful place to see exposed granite, which is a pretty common type of rock at the Earth's surface, but here it's really spectacular because of the way that it weathers. So here you see two big boulders with a giant space in the middle, and you might be wondering, why is there such a big space between these rocks? And the answer again is erosion. There was a vertical crack somewhere in this big mass of granite that allowed water to work its way down into the granite and eat away at these rocks, leaving behind this big gap. It wasn't a softer material, it was the same exact type of material, but it was eroded because that water could find its way into the rock along a crack. And under my feet you can see another place where there would have been a horizontal crack, and water was coming in that way as well and eating away at the rocks from underneath.
If you ever happen to be driving along I-10 and you see these incredible boulders that are balancing on one another, you're in Texas Canyon and you're just a mile away from the Amerind Foundation. We're here on 1,900 acres located in Texas Canyon. The Amerind Foundation is a museum, a library, an archive, an art gallery, and so much more.
We found objects that humans made and used that date back 13,000 years. There were several probably small family communities that were living here around 1,000 years ago, and they were the subject of several excavations. And of course, perhaps most famously to Southeast Arizona, this was also the home of the Apache people, particularly the Chiricahua Apache people, with such important chiefs like Cochise, from which our county takes its name.
Even though we're in Arizona, this is called Texas Canyon because some of the homesteaders who came here in the late 1800s, early 1900s came from the state of Texas, brought their family, and thus there were many people here from the state of Texas, and the name stuck, Texas Canyon.
I'm Linda Kelly, owner of the Triangle Tea Guest Ranch, and came here about 10 years ago from Southern California. This particular ranch was a cattle ranch, and then in 1922 it became a guest ranch. And some people bought it in 1927. M.J. Tutt and her family, very connected with Hollywood in New York. And since then, their best friends were Clark Gable and Carole Lombard. So she was a stunt double, and they brought in a lot of their friends, and then the early movies and movie stars started coming here and have made it famous.
And behind me you see the original movie set from the 3:10 to Yuma movie, shot in 1956, came out in 57. Glenn Ford, Van Heflin, Felicia Farr. It was a great old Western, really classic Western movie. That's not really the first movie that was shot here. The first one we knew about is Gary Cooper and Along Came Jones. And then since then there's been many, many movies shot here.
Over here we have the Lone Ranger, who had many famous film series on TV in the early days. And we have Roy Rogers and his famous wife, Dale Evans. Of course, everybody knows their beautiful cowboy singing. This is Will Rogers' photo over here. And he flew in a plane and landed here very often to visit his good friends, the Tutts. And everyone knows the Duke, John Wayne. And he filmed here in the 30s, and you can see a picture there. It's very typical of the ranch.
It's spectacular. And it gets in your blood. I never get tired of it. And when you get out in our property and in Texas Canyon on horseback, you go back a century, and that's the way you feel.
To me as an archaeologist, the fact that there are so many thousands of years of human stories represented on this property, gives me chills when I think about it. And when I get to walk through the Amerind Museum collection and see the stories and the evidence of all these many people and their lives, it makes this space particularly special.
I wake up, I walk to work, and I look around and I'm just astounded. I can't believe that I'm here, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled. And that's the experience anyone coming here will have as well.
We're so lucky to live in a place where there's so much to do outdoors. We have beautiful weather most of the year, and you can really get out and see what the earth is all about. It's right there at your fingertips, under your feet, just waiting to be explored.
Our mantra here is discover the magic and treasure the memories, because there is magic here, and the memories become wonderful.
Since the 2nd of December 1940, when Tucson's municipal airport became a military airfield, later to be named Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, military aircraft have been ubiquitous in Tucson skies. In October of 1978, a tragic accident reminded Tucsonans that the skill demonstrated by Air Force pilots every day should never be taken for granted.
On October 26th, 10 years ago, it was more than just noise that the university and the city heard. The tranquility of that October day 10 years ago was shattered by the unspeakable. An Air Force A-10 developed engine problems just a short distance from here. The pilot had to ditch the aircraft. 2 women were killed. But that single incident 10 years ago changed the way that the Air Force at Davis-Monthan trains its pilots. The pilot of the jet stayed with his craft until the last possible moment. His quick thinking may have saved a number of lives, but as the wreckage lay spread over the area, people were already thinking that if it happened once, it could happen again. To prevent that possibility, the city and the Air Force and the federal government worked out an agreement to cut back on flights over normal city routes.
In 1978, we were flying approximately 2,800 overflights a month over the U of A in the city of Tucson. Based on the initiatives that we've taken, the results have been reduced significantly. We dropped down to around 500, 600 a month within 2 years.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. Next week, looking into earworms, learning the art of aerial silks, making many bones, one heart, and preserving Tucson's past from the vault. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.